Good day, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to take on a video by BuzzFeed and talk a little bit about illegal immigration. Enjoy.
Es como vivir en una pequeña cárcel, amplia, con espacio, pero tú sabes que ellos saben que su espacio de movimiento está limitado a unas 50 millas o antes.
Seriously though, I'm getting real tired of this emotional politics strategy that the left likes to play. Look at the opening scene with the ominous Border Patrol car to start the video. Then you have this old little Hispanic woman speaking Spanish and talking about how it's like living in a prison, living so close to the border. Well, lady, if you aren't breaking the law, you have nothing to worry about. I can already tell I am going to hate this video.
In places like Hatch in Chaparral, New Mexico, undocumented immigrants are trapped in areas surrounded by Border Patrol checkpoints. The Immigration and Nationality Act allows Border Patrol agents to stop and search cars within 100 miles of any U.S. border.
And I wonder why that is. It might not be because Hatch and Chapala are near the border, is it? No. What about this? In 2012, illegal immigrants in New Mexico accounted for an estimated 3.4% of the state's population. That's about 70,000 people. That's a lot of people that are illegal immigrants in just one state alone. So trying to curb the illegal immigration in that state is kind of a big top priority, wouldn't you think, for the Border Patrol, whose job it is to protect the border from illegal immigration?
We're always scared.
Ugh, we've already been over this. You don't have to be scared unless you're breaking the law. And way to go, BuzzFeed, pointing out that her mother is quote-unquote undocumented, or in real terms, illegal, and a criminal, because she broke the law to get here.
We stop and we see a border patrol or something, and then we feel a tension inside the car because, we know we're not doing anything wrong, because we're not speeding or anything that could cause a probable cause, is what you call it. And but still, like, just anything, and then you stop, and everything goes bad. And I don't think it's fair because my mom's hardworking. You can see it in her face, her expression. She just freaks out, and it's just so sad to see that. She's scared to go in the light. She's just kind of just like living in the shadow.
Your mother could be the greatest person in the world, but I would still rather her stay in her native land than come into my country illegally. And that sounds harsh, but it's not. Because your mother came here illegally, she is now a criminal, and now she cannot live to her full potential as a legal resident because of her choices. If she had gone the right way and done the right things and gone through the process, then she wouldn't have this problem. She would be here legally and she wouldn't have to worry about these things. Sure, let them pull her over. Let them search her car. She'll have nothing to hide. But now she has to live in a life of shadows, or a criminal's life, as I like to call it, because she broke the law, because she is a criminal.
The new administration's priorities subjects all of the nation's 11 million undocumented immigrants to deportations. Trump's executive orders are calling for an additional 5,000 Border Patrol agents and 10,000 immigration and customs enforcement officers.
You talk like having more border security is a bad thing. Protecting our borders from criminals and economic migrants is a good thing. It ensures both the physical and economic safety of the citizens that the government has sworn to protect. Furthermore, this garbage BuzzFeed video is only telling one side of the story. They're making an attempt to pull at your heartstrings to garner support for the 11 million illegals living here in this country. So let's look at some information directly from the ICE website. In 2016, ICE conducted just over 240,000 removals or deportations. Of the 65,000 interior removals, i.e. people already settled into the states, a whopping 92% of them had already had criminal records. The rest of all removals were made at border crossings, catching the illegals in the act of committing that crime. Of the 101,000 removed that had no criminal record at all, 95% of them were apprehended at the border, meaning 95% of all quote-unquote non-criminal removals were apprehended in the act of committing the crime of illegally entering the states. With all this fear-mongering that Trump is going to split up families, people seem to forget that at the height of Obama's presidency, we were a mere 90,000 removals short of 500,000, and removals only really started dropping at near the end of his presidency. After the statistics shared on the ICE website, they conclude saying that their primary goal is to target those who threaten public safety, national security, and border security. If you think that's a bad thing, then you've got something wrong going on in your head. After all, 99.3% of all removals in 2016 fit under one of those categories. So don't you go slinging this narrative that ICE is a bunch of bad guys raiding innocent homes and separating families. They provide a necessary public service, and I will support them now and in the future. Anyway, guys, I think this is where I'm going to end this video. The rest of the video goes on to talk about the experiences that this nun has, and then there's a shop owner who gives the argument about what about the poor kids, the guys out in Washington making these laws, they don't look into their eyes, they don't see their faces. And while it's an emotional argument, and it really does tug at your heartstrings, emotional politics will do nothing to benefit our society. And I wanted to talk a little bit about immigration and why unvetted immigration is not a good thing. We've seen in Europe the mass migration, the mass acceptance of refugees from Middle Eastern and African countries who have these cultures and ideologies that don't mix with the Western culture. And it's caused terrorist attack and terrorist attack and terrorist attack and rape and rape. And crime has gone up exponentially in these countries, and it has created no-go zones. It's created places where people that are native to that country literally cannot go because they're ghettos. They're ghettos of migrants, and it's not safe to be there. Police don't even go there in some places. And this type of immigration policy is not something that we in the States want. For one thing, that's why we've elected someone who's harsh on immigration. I didn't personally vote for Trump myself, but I will say I agree with him on immigration. It needs to be strongly vetted. The only purpose for immigration is to bring in people into your country that will benefit your society as a whole, both economically and culturally. If you're letting in just anybody, you're not having that happen, and you're going to create a group of people that just leech off society instead of add to it. That's going to be all for this one. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and leave a comment below. If you like what I do on this channel, please subscribe. And don't forget to check that bell icon so you're notified every time that I upload. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, or on Minds, links will be in the description. Thanks for watching. I'm the Educationer, and have a great day.